Hey, Delroy Bodley, the Realtor, is back sharing some more trivia, some more knowledge about New York City and New York City real estate. What I love about New York City. What is not to love about New York City? If I had to answer with one word, it would be convenience. Convenience as in transportation. At any hours you can commute to any part of New York City. I have been to many states. If you miss the last public transportation, usually before midnight, you are either staying put, driving, walking, or riding a bicycle. New York City at 3 a.m., I can commute to any and every borough. Another thing that is essential about New York City is United Nations is in New York. Why? It's because New York City is a melting pot. Every country has representation in New York City. This is why New York, diverse, multicultural, is uncomparable anywhere else. No other country, state compares to the diversity of New York. Real estate wise, real estate in New York is, no matter what happens in the city, always comes back stronger. One word about New York City comes to mind is resilience. New York City has, in recent memory, been through devastations such as 9/11, market crash, Sandy, COVID, and continue to rise like the phoenix. These are some of the great things that I love and like about New York City. But let's talk about some boroughs or neighborhoods that I really like. First, let's talk about a few in Brooklyn. I'll start with Park Slope. What do I love or like about Park Slope? I love that Park Slope has a great energy, a great family energy. It's called Stroller Valley. Why? Because there's a lot of families in the neighborhood. It's also very close to Prospect Park. I've done a lot of sales and rentals in Park Slope, and I just love how the energy of the neighborhood flows. Another neighborhood that I'm really fond of is Dumbo. Dumbo is a very historical neighborhood. It's known as one of the most expensive neighborhoods to live in New York City, not in Brooklyn, in New York. It's basically between two bridges, and it's off of the waterfront, and it sells itself. I love hanging out in Dumbo. Dumbo is a neighborhood you just want to be a part of, and that's why it's such a high demand neighborhood. And then another neighborhood in Brooklyn that I'm really fond of is downtown Brooklyn. Downtown Brooklyn is the bridge between Brooklyn Heights, Dumbo, Fort Greene, Gorham Hill, Cobble Hill, Prospect Heights, Park Slope are all connected to downtown Brooklyn. So it may not be a neighborhood itself per se, but it's a bridge to all these neighborhoods, and a lot of people live in downtown Brooklyn just because of those reasons. Neighborhoods in Manhattan that I'm fond of. One that comes to mind would be Union Square. I love Union Square on a sentimental reason because when I first started my real estate career, my office was in Gramercy. I'd get off the train at Union Square, and as you come up the stairs and you just see the sun beaming on you, you just had a feel of life and energy, and the neighborhood presents itself that way as well. Another neighborhood that I'm really fond of in Manhattan would be West Village. West Village is a neighborhood that I've always done a lot of shopping in, and I've eaten at a lot of restaurants in that neighborhood. And it's just, it's a very diverse neighborhood. It has a very good feeling to it. Yeah, so, and another neighborhood that if I had to, just pick another one, I would say any neighborhood that's connected to Central Park, just being close to the park, like Columbus Square. Let's go with Columbus Square, because Columbus Square is close to the park, but it's also extends to the waterfront on the west side. So those are a few neighborhoods that I'm really high on. But as I said, New York City, you can't lose on New York. You can't lose. Thank you for your time, and we will continue with more info, data, and more trivia with Delroy Bodley, the Realtor, at another time. Thank you.